The family Chantel may have brought Pedro Jimeno into the spotlight, but his cringe Instagram content has destroyed his reputation without Chantel Everett, who's thriving to back him up. Chantel and Pedro, who were part of the 90 Day Fiancé franchise before moving into their own series, have been among the most widely discussed couples to come out of the long-running show. With the family Chantel and Pedro hope to give viewers a better look into their lives together after marriage, but their relationship couldn't handle the pressure of another reality TV show along with Pedro's sketchy feelings toward Chantel. Pedro and Chantel's relationship was difficult early on, as their time together began with a language barrier. Pedro was introduced to Chantel by a mutual friend, who enlisted Pedro as Chantel's Spanish tutor before the pair found each other interested in pursuing a romantic relationship. Pedro, originally from the Dominican Republic, was interested in moving to the United States to continue his relationship with Chantel and to break into the real estate industry. With Pedro's intentions clear, his relationship with Chantel progressed, even as it seemed like he may not be as interested in her as she was in him. Although Pedro's time on the family Chantel did its best to portray him as a loving husband to Chantel, it's become clear that their marriage is over, that his intentions with Chantel weren't genuine. Pedro, who's just a year younger than his ex-wife, behaved far more childishly than expected when he got to the US and started searching for how he wanted to build his life. While Pedro was married to Chantel, his behavior wasn't indicating there was any happiness in the marriage, or that he was interested in his relationship with Chantel outside of the way it benefited him. As Chantel tried to work on her relationship with Pedro, noticing there were issues between herself and her husband, the former 90 Day Fiancé star wasn't as interested in making improvements. Rather than investing himself in his marriage to Chantel, Pedro was cagey, which concerned his wife. Though she was certain their love was real, it quickly became obvious to the outside perspective that Pedro wasn't interested in Chantel romantically. His decision to marry her seems like an obvious ploy to try and stay in the US and on reality TV, rather than a play to stay married to Chantel. While Pedro couldn't have known early on in his relationship with Chantel that there was the potential for reality TV fame, as things continued with the pair, they got the opportunity to appear on 90 Day Fiancé. Gaining popularity, Pedro continued in the relationship in order to stay part of the series, and as they got more popular, the pair received their own show to document their lives, including all of the drama between Chantel, Pedro, and the rest of her family. Pedro knew reality TV was a great way to get himself out there, despite lacking feelings for Chantel. Banking on reality TV fame, as the first seasons of the family Chantel aired, Pedro was able to grow his audience online while engaging in some seriously difficult behavior on screen. Starting drama and using his personality to ensure there was always conflict happening on the show, Pedro was skilled at making sure that he was always part of the narrative on screen. While Pedro was using Chantel and her family to make sure that he stayed relevant, viewers were catching on to the fact that Pedro wasn't being genuine with them, Chantel, or with the rest of the Everett family. After Pedro's relationship with Chantel took a turn for the worse, it became clear that he was relying on his real estate business to keep him afloat after reality TV didn't work out. With the family Chantel ending and Pedro getting dragged for his relationship with Chantel not working out, he began to devote as much time as possible to his real estate business. Pedro's interest in real estate wasn't new to the family Chantel viewers, but seeing him working harder than ever to keep himself in the public eye has been cringe for those who have seen Pedro through. While Pedro is doing what he believes works for his business, the content he posts on his Instagram is overwhelming at times, leaving most of his remaining followers confused as to what he's trying to attempt. Recreating memes, shouting for attention, and trying to create the most viral content possible, Pedro has struggled to keep his audience interested as he's moved through his life post-Chantel. While he was able to explain his motivations on the family Chantel before the divorce, with the show over and Chantel out of his life, Pedro's redeeming qualities have diminished, along with his content quality. Although Pedro and Chantel haven't been on good terms for quite some time, the breakup has been intense to watch through an outside lens. Pedro, who is more interested in drama and keeping himself relevant on screen, has been doing poorly without Chantel. His social media content has been desperate and tiring, while the rest of his behavior has been overly private and suspiciously secretive. Pedro's behavior has had the family Chantel viewers questioning him after the difficult split. Chantel, on the other hand, has been doing well without Pedro in her life, even though the divorce hurt her thoroughly as Chantel has moved through one of the most difficult times in her life. She's been taking the time to reflect on her relationship and do her best to take accountability for her part in its demise. Though she understands that fundamentally, she and Pedro simply weren't good together at their cores, she's also been clear that she knows there were things that they didn't handle well as individuals or as a couple. Chantel has been doing great after her split from Pedro, making it clear that the family Chantel star knows how to pick herself back up after heartbreak.